Today we are talking about a truck that had to travel 8,500 kilometers. This was not a problem. Most trucks complete this distance in one route. But the issue was that an ice block had been placed in it, which was to be passed from the burning desert of Africa. But the challenge was that the ice should not melt in any condition without a refrigerator. That was 1959, when the attention of the whole world was on the ice block. This block weight was 3,050 kilograms. It had to reach from one corner of the world to another corner. Without a refrigerator. Its starting point was Mo i Rana, the Norway city, and its ending point was Libreville, the city of Central Africa. But why were they going to do that? Why was one block being moved so far? In fact, this matter started in 1958 by International Broadcast Radio Luxembourg. This broadcast was famous by the name of Radio Luxembourg in the whole world. A strange challenge was placed by this broadcast to all its listeners. If any man could carry this 3-ton block from the Arctic Ocean to Africa, he would be handsomely rewarded. It was decided by Radio Luxembourg the person would be rewarded with 100,000 francs for each 1 kg of ice, which is $16,000 in today's time. It means $48 million for a 3-ton ice block. Francs was a currency used by many countries in the past. It was a really huge amount. But challenge had some rules. Rule number 1, this ice would be carried in one block. Rule number 2, this block would be carried by road, and the third and hard rule was that refrigerators would not be used by the way. The owner and team of Radio Luxembourg thought that it is impossible for anyone to carry the ice block from Arctic Ocean to Africa by following these rules. This journey was 8,500 kilometers long, of which 2,500 kilometers was the desert of Africa, whose temperature remained usually 50 degrees Celsius. That is, the ice that melts as soon as it comes out of the refrigerator. How will it reach the destination in a weeks-long journey? The Radio Luxembourg's team gave a shout, but they had no idea that this shout would get them into trouble. No one had courage to face this challenge. But after a few months, a man named Birger Natvik announced that he is ready to accept this challenge. He was the managing director of insulation company Glasvault. He believed that he would complete this challenge by using insulation material made by his company. This news was spread in the world that this challenge was accepted by a man. Natvik made a team and started work on the challenge. Every attempt to meet the challenge of a block was feared to lose a lot of money when the Radio Luxembourg team found out. And they took back their challenge. Natvik was determined to meet the challenge. Because of this challenge, his company and his team were getting publicity for free. It was decided to deliver the ice block from Mo i Rana to Libreville. Natvik made a team of an engineer, 4 drivers, 1 truck mechanic, and 2 cameramen. They cut the 3-ton ice block from a glacier. They cut it into small pieces because it was very difficult to put a whole block in the truck. By accepting this challenge, his company was also receiving a lot of media attention, which led to sponsorships by many other companies. Shell took responsibility for the oil, and Scania company provided the truck in which the blocks were to be placed. The small 200-kilogram blocks brought down by the helicopter, and freezed these blocks and converted them into a single block of 3,500 kilograms. This block was loaded into a truck, and the truck's wall was insulated with a special glass wall. At last this journey started on 27 February 1959. The early journey was very good because the weather in that area was cool. This news had spread all over the world, due to which Natvik and his team were warmly welcomed by the people of any city it passed through. When this truck was passing through Paris, the police of that city took special protocol to pass it through the rush area. After a week's journey, they loaded the truck on a ship because they had to pass through some area of the sea. After crossing the sea, they reached the African desert. Now the real journey had started. The temperature there was very high during the day. There was a threat of the snow melting, and it was also difficult to continue traveling on the sand. The truck was also at a security risk because the area through which the team was passing was a war going on, so the French army gave them some instructions and security to pass through that area. There were no proper roads in that desert. They were finding it difficult to drive the truck on the sand. The heat worsened their condition. Mainly, the ice block in the truck was starting to melt. They also watered the animals in the desert with the water coming out of the ice block. They spent some nights on the sand. At last, they passed the desert by facing difficulties. Now their destination was very close. They were happy that they had few kilometers to reach their destination. At last, they reached successfully at Libreville after 28 days' journey. In Libreville, Nat Viek and his team was warmly welcomed. Everyone wanted to know how much ice was saved after a 28 days' journey. It was very hard to believe that only 336 kg of ice had melted during the 28 days' journey. They were not rewarded by radio broadcast, but the sale of this company had increased 100 times more than before. Now this company is famous by the name of Glava, and making the insulation material by the name of Glava Insulation. I hope you would have enjoyed my video.